availability of information, this internet age, and I use it a lot. And, I'm not a Luddite. I don't live in a yurt in Topanga with no power. I have friends that do, and God bless them. They're very happy. But I have technology in my life. I have a fax machine and a cell phone and a computer. These are tools that I use to do what I'm doing, to spread the word about things that I feel are important. And I think a certain amount of technology can certainly benefit us. I think there's limits to it if we get too reliant on it. I think that can be not good. At some point, you have to put, the computer, close it down, and not just visit a site about Yosemite or Yellowstone. You need to actually go to Yosemite or Yellowstone.
What are some of your, okay, we're going to put you on the spot. What's your top 5 movies of all time? What do you like?
Well, It's a Wonderful Life is a great movie because it's very entertaining, and it's about something important. That's a great movie. Dr. Strangelove is a very good movie. Chinatown, which I mentioned earlier. I have to include a movie that I'm in to be somewhat self-serving, but I had the tiniest part. I made almost no contribution to how wonderful this movie is. I have no lines. I'm on it for just a few seconds, but it's a great movie in spite of my performance. It's called This is Spinal Tap. That's a truly...
Come on, that's a classic.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Thank you, Steve. It's a classic. Let me pick another one that I'm in. Again, a slightly bigger part, but had no real influence on this being a truly great movie. The In-Laws with Peter Falk and Alan Arkin. Those are a couple good movies I'm in, and several other movies higher up on the list that I'm not in. Those are 5 that leap to mind.
Well, you got excellent taste in movies. I have to tell you, Ed Begley Jr. I like The Godfather. Okay. Okay. All right.
I should have filmed that.
All right. But I got to ask you, who are some of your favorite directors that you have worked with?
I work with Jack Nicholson. He's a wonderful director. Larry Kasdan is a wonderful director. I've worked with, with
Sidney Pollack?
I haven't worked with Sid Pollack. I'm a great fan of his. He's a wonderful actor and a wonderful director. Joe Sargent is a wonderful director. Joe Pepe. Joe Pepe is a stage director from the Atlantic Theater Company, New York. We did this David Mamet play. David Mamet is not only a wonderful writer, but a wonderful director.
Glenn Ross is as good as it gets.
As good as it gets. It's a great play and a great movie, and David is a wonderful director and a wonderful writer, so he would be tops on my list.
I'm going to ask you about 2 current movies that I really enjoyed. One, Daniel Day-Lewis, There Will Be Blood, and No Country for Old Men. Did you get a chance to watch any of those? We really like those.
I watched both of them. Those are my 2 favorite. I got to put Michael Clayton in there, too. Yes. Those are my 3 favorite movies of the year. 3 fine movies that are very different and each brilliant in their own way.
If you were telling people in L.A. 5 simple things, and I could talk to Ed Begley Jr. for a couple hours. I got to come up to Palm Springs and hang out a little bit more. It's interesting. You hear that word celebrity, and you're just a working actor. But you're a real celebrity in the sense you're trying to make the planet a better place. What are 5 simple things that don't cost a lot of money or a lot of time that if everybody in the world did it, or particularly, let's start with California with 55 million people, it could save the planet? What would you say?
Mount Everest, Steve. We've got a Mount Everest challenges that we face, and you kill yourself if you run up a hill like that. You got to get to base camp, get acclimated, and climb only as high as you can. Not everybody's going to afford solar panels or a wind turbine or something like I have. So you get a compact fluorescent bulb right away. If you like it, you get a few more. That's 1. Get an energy-saving thermostat with a wake and sleep and leave and return mode. That's 2. You save a lot of money with that. 3, you get yourself, if you have public transportation near you, you get yourself on public transportation. Sun Transit here, this wonderful desert community area, Palm Springs and Palm Desert, what have you. Sun Transit powered by natural gas. Take public transportation if it's available near you. Another one, if weather and fitness permit, you ride a bicycle. Again, I'm not saying ride it in the winter in Chicago when you're going to be dying with the hawk blown, but when you can. I'm not talking about the things you can't do, talk about the things you can do. The last one would be home gardening and composting. If you have a little piece of dirt in your front or backyard, grow some vegetables. If you don't have a piece of dirt to call your own, get part of a community garden. You don't have a community garden, start one. That's dirt cheap, literally dirt cheap. There are 5 things, all cheap and easy.
And even a mechanical moron like myself could do that, okay? I'll never build a yurt. I'll just freeze to death, okay? I'll be bullshitting greatly in the yurt and I'm dying, okay? But I got to ask you this other question because first of all, it's a delight for me to meet you, okay? I know you just did this film, I think it was Comfort of Strangers that played in January on television. Where are you going from here as an actor? You've got over 150 credits on IMDb. What's the challenge for you? What's motivating you as an actor? What type of roles do you want to do, Ed, going forward?
I'm out in the back nine, to be honest, Steve. I'm just kind of enjoying myself now, and whatever good comes along, I do it. If I see a script that I like, I'll do it. I don't do it like, oh, I got to do this because I'm starving, because I got a big nut to crack, because I live in some big mansion, I got a big staff. I got a very low profile economically, so I can pick and choose and do what I want. And I have a very fortunate thing as regards acting, and that is when I go and audition for a role, once in a while, I have to audition. Many times they say, oh, we want to offer you the part, do you want to do it or not? And that's the way it goes. Sometimes a bigger project, film, or sometimes even TV, you have to go in and audition. And this is the way I regard it. This is the honest to God's truth. Sure. I go in and I read the part, because I only go in on things where I really like the material, it's fun to do and or exciting to do in some way. I read the part in front of a camera like that, a video camera, whatever, or just people in a room, and I go home, and the agent said, don't you want to hear how it went? I said, yeah, go ahead and tell me. Well, you seem blasé. I said, I'm not blasé, but I did the part already. I said, what are you talking about? They called to book you. I said, no, but I did it already. I got to play that guy in a room in front of a camera, not in front of a camera. They want to pay me extra and do it in front of a Panaflex. That's gravy. I already did the part. I get to play that guy who's an accountant. I got to play that guy who's a bank robber, whatever it is, and I got to do it. So they want me to do it again? That's icing.
Do you like to play the bad guy sometimes? You're a good guy, and you're doing some really good work. But it's got to be fun to play the bad guy. Do you like playing bad guys?
Those are the most fun. My father figured that out early on. He played a lot of this, and he was a very funny guy, and he was a wonderful guy. So it was ironic that he got to play a lot of villains, but he had it down pat, and he was very good at it. So those parts are fun to do, yes.
You can say, I just can't let this guy leave because I like talking to him too much. So we'll just one or two more questions before he has to go do something for the environment, okay? What are some of your favorite TV shows? I like the shows like Dexter on Showtime. Great show. That lead actor, he's something special.
Yeah, Michael is wonderful. Great guy. I loved working with him on 6 Feet Under, but that's really a good show, Dexter. 6 Feet Under was a wonderful show. I'm pretty lucky, again, not just movies, but on TV. I worked on 6 Feet Under, as you know. I worked on Boston Legal, several episodes. They just called about me doing another one of those.
What's William Shatner really like?
He's a great guy. He's very funny, has a great sense of humor about himself, and lives kind of near me in the same general neck of the woods. He's just a wonderful, wonderful fellow, and very talented. He's good on that show. He and James Spader, that's something to behold. They're pretty good. I've
liked James Spader since that one we did with this sci-fi movie. I forget what it was called, Stargate, which was one of my favorite films. I'm a huge sci-fi X-Files fan. Do you ever work with David Duchovny? I've always been a David Duchovny fan.
I met David. I haven't had the pleasure of working with him. But, yeah, those shows were very good. Those are some of my favorite shows to work on. 6 Feet Under, Boston Legal, Arrested Development. I was on that for several episodes. I did, maybe 4 episodes of that. St. Elsewhere was a wonderful show many years ago in the 80s. I'm one lucky dude as well.
What about House? I'd like to see you and Laurie going at it.
I'd like to be on House. Yes, why not? I'm ready to. What other medical shows? I was on Scrubs.
Well, Amy Lippens, you're the cast director for House, and I'm sure you're listening to TrueHollywoodTalk.com as we speak. We want to get Ed Begley Jr. on that show. I think you and Laurie going head to head. I want you to be the bad doctor, him the good crazy guy, and I just want to watch it.
Happy.
Well, Ed, first of all, it's a great thrill for me. Okay, new in the Hollywood scene, and I want to thank you for coming on TrueHollywoodTalk.com. I'm partial to the character actors that actually have a track record. We're not just talking about someone who just got out of a car today or went to a party. We're talking to today a real actor. So listen to this Ed Begley Jr. I want to thank you. Okay, all right. Where the hell did he go? I don't know, but I know one thing: we're buying some new light bulbs when I get home. All right. Thanks, Ed. It was a delight.
Thank you so much.